put this sun fade on the underside of the chair. Shocking. We save that because it's going to go back on. And now I got to go around and take out all of these staples on the fabric. And again, I can't just cut it off because I need this for my pattern piece. I'm going to sit and take all this piping out and create my pattern pieces. If you bear with me for a few minutes, I'll get that taken care of. So you remember when I took the chair apart and I kept all the pieces so that I made sure when I was cutting this piece out, I used all the old fabric as my actual pattern piece. And that's how I was able to determine how long to make this piece that is the piping that's going to go in here. So that when this gets turned over, the piping sits like that between the actual seat and the apron to the seat. It's a little bit confusing when you lay it up, but once you've got it in place, it all sort of makes sense. There won't be a pattern for this on the Friendly Fox because clearly every chair is different, so you have to use your own old pattern pieces to construct a new piece. Okay, let's sew. When you're wrestling with fabric like this, your needle should always be in the down position to hold everything in place while you're wrestling with it. Otherwise, if the needle was up, the fabric would be shifting under the foot, and that wouldn't be a good thing. This curve here, because that's the back of the seat cushion, has to sort of be wrestled into submission as you're going around this corner, so you've got to move slow. That's given it a really nice piped, clean piped edge. Now we're going to take that over and put it on the chair. So this is the seat cushion, and it's in kind of rough shape because, as we've discussed already, it's kind of old. So in order to just give me a nice working surface, I'm going to cut a piece of this to lay over the cushion. That's a really good gas. Look at that. And here's the piece we just put the piping in. See, those corners are worth it when you've got to wrestle them into submission. Yeah, that looks good. Wrestled into submission. That's the chair with the cushion on, or the fabric on, and now I'm going to go around the bottom here and staple it back, staple the fabric in place. So when you're doing these, you want them really tight, and you want to go with all four sides, and then you start cutting the distance in half, but you just keep working around. You don't try to go from here all the way around. Sometimes when you're stapling into something that has a foam back on it, you'll hit the staple and it'll bounce, and so your staple won't go in tight the way you want it to. And so they do have a little upholstery hammer that you just kind of tap them in with, but I don't have one of those, so I'm just going to tap it in with a hammer. So just keep an eye as you're going around, and watch too for your, so on here there's a hardware right there for the seat to screw onto. So I don't want to cover that with fabric, or I don't want to nail into it. So now I cut the distance between there and there, and with this one, now I'm going to cut the distance between there and there, right here. I'm going to cut the distance again one more time between here and here. I'll put one there, all the way around. I'm just going to trim some of this fabric away from this screw hole right here so that when I put the base back on, it won't get tangled up in all this fabric. If you wanted to make a new template of this is only cardboard. It would be very easy to do, but I don't think it's in that rough shape that I couldn't just fasten it back down. Okay, let's put the hardware on. So that's the piece finished. If you're going to tackle this as a beginner, just take your time. I don't think it's a difficult project. And the beauty of it is, as you dismantle the piece that you're going to be working with, you've already got your pattern piece ready to go. Just take your time with it. It's not a real hard project, but time consuming. So thanks for joining me.